Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse, today, Tuesday, March 4th, 2025. Now, on the Eric Adams docket, because many people are asking about it, there's, count them, at least 4 proposed amicus briefs, and there's one official amicus brief coming from Paul Clement. But we'd reported it on Friday. Michael Flynn had already submitted his proposed brief as a victim of a previous special prosecutor. There's also a request by former federal judges that there be a special prosecutor named instead of dropping the case. And then yesterday, which I think was after the deadline, I'm not sure, at least it was after Judge Ho's stated deadline, there was a request basically for kind of sanctions against Emile Beauvais. So the 4 are in, and I'm expecting Judge Ho to weed them out or grant them all, and there'll be a response, of course, from both DOJ and Eric Adams to the proposed amici. Eric Adams has gone down to D.C. today, but he's actually not speaking to Congress until tomorrow on the issue of sanctuary cities. I think he wanted to get out of town. Today, his same name, Adrienne Adams, is doing her State of the City, which one would assume after all this talk that she will announce that she's in the race. But they said it won't be until after, so I don't get it. We might be covering that. We'll also, of course, we're covering the Charlie Javice trial. Yesterday, among other things, there was a Google document custodian. It was a real snooze fest, that portion of it. But in other news, the next witness was a former Frank staffer who then went to J.P. Morgan Chase. She was fired by J.P. Morgan Chase for, as she said, not telling them what she supposedly knew, which I don't even know what it was. And she now is a snowboarding teacher. A little unclear to me, like how she's a government witness, but the government, in eliciting her both getting fired and other matters, it's kind of undermined her credibility. Who knows? It goes on. The government says there's 10 more witnesses, so we're in it. We're in it, and we're doing it. We'll also be covering, I believe, at 11 a.m. an Iranian case. It's one of the Iranian plot cases. We were actually the first to report it when it first was indicted. These guys that were planning to kill an Iranian dissident in Brooklyn. I'm not even going to give you the name to keep her safe. And the case is really about, at least today's proceeding is about suppression of evidence. Number one, the fact that they can charge them with money laundering because Czech Republic says, go ahead and do it, as they've said in another extradition case, Gupta, the Indian murder for hire, Khalistan case. And also the fact that when he was interviewed and signed away his rights, he didn't really speak Russian, apparently, Mr. Obadov. So be looking for that. The United Nations, this is all taken a global flavor. And in Geneva, that hotbed of global international law, the UN's head of human rights, Volker Turk, previously just a pencil pusher for Antonio Guterres, a real hatchet man. When Antonio Guterres had Inner City Press roughed up and thrown out, Volker Turk was in the mix and he never did anything. And since then, he's been aware of a total denial of due process. No response to Quinn Emanuel's pro bono letter to them, nothing. And yet, yesterday, in Geneva, Volker Turk was pontificating about threats to journalists and the independent press. No, that's hypocrisy. That is today's United Nations. And it's all coming to a litmus test. I would hope. I keep saying that, but let's see. There's still the U.S. mission to the UN is kind of treading water. I mean, they're treading okay, but they're not really empowered to do what may or may not be coming. Now, we're going to keep leveraging the scoops, but for now, we're going in. Javice and then Iran. To be continued.